Hi, Terry Franks here. Welcome back to my channel, Prescott Voice. Please don't forget to hit those subscribe, like, and share buttons. Today, I want to just vent my frustration over what is going on these college campuses and the anti-Semitism everywhere. It is just exploding. I can't believe that I am an American citizen watching what I am watching. College students, faculty of these colleges that are calling for death to America, death to Israel. They're flying Hezbollah flags, Palestinian flags. They're supporting terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. Then I read about an Israeli doctor that saved the life of the leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar. An Israeli doctor, this was published in November last year, November of 23, right after the October 7th attack in Israel. So this Israeli doctor operated on Sinwar to save his life. The brain surgery was done in 2011 when he was a prisoner in Israel. And he was released in a mass prisoner exchange to secure the freedom of an Israeli soldier, Gilad Shalit. When a tumor was found, this is the quote, this I found very, very telling, because look, this guy, Sinwar, is considered the leader, the mastermind behind the October 7th attack, where Israelis were just butchered and raped and burned. Horrible atrocity. This is what was said by a warden in the prison at the time. When a tumor was found in Sinwar's head, he was terribly afraid. The man fell apart. After the surgery, I told him, the state of Israel that you're so against saved your life. The guy started crying, really crying, and begging me to tell him he'd come out of it and that he wouldn't die. He was feared by fellow Palestinian prisoners, and she said, quote, this coward, Sinwar, plotted violence and turmoil inside the prison, but never took responsibility. Sinwar was given 4 life sentences in 1989 for organizing the murders of 4 Palestinians he suspected of working with Israel. So he kills his own people with no thought at all. She went on further to state, even before his arrest, he led by fear and terror. He would dig holes, then throw in people he suspected were against him, pouring cement on them while they were still alive. He's a coward. He's cruel and he's callous. When I see his bluster in Gaza, I ask myself how this chicken of a man became a hero. What this doctor said that Sinwar told him when questioned about his people in Gaza, he said this. I asked Sinwar, is it worth 10,000 innocent Gazans dying? He said, even 100,000 deaths of Gazans is worth it. The head of the intelligence division of the Israel prison service, Yuval Britton, knew Hamas leader Sinwar, whose organization murdered Bitten's nephew on October 7th. So this article in Haaretz, which is an Israel newspaper, is worth the read. So you have this coward Sinwar who was saved by Israel and then went on to plot, plan, and kill all of these Israelis on October 7th. He not only killed, raped, burned, and massacred brutally Israelis, but he said here in this article according to Yuval Bitton, the intelligence division of the Israel Prison Service, said that Sinwar would sacrifice 100,000 Gazans. That's what we're dealing with here. And yet, we have all of these college students, faculty members of these colleges, and all sorts of people out there supporting this brutal, cowardly monster. Cried like a little baby. Oh, am I going to die? I'm going to die. Help me, help me. And so Israel saves him, and he goes on to brutally murder Israeli citizens. Dr. Bitton said, the fact that we saved his life cost hundreds of children and old people their lives. We later discovered that my nephew is now in Gaza, a captive of the man whose life we saved. Tamir, 38 years old, who has 2 young children, was captured from a kibbutz with his gran, Yafa Adar, 85 years old, who was famously pictured being taken away in a buggy. Well, we later learned that his nephew was murdered by Hamas. Since October 7th, the Israeli retaliation has cost the lives of more than 10,000 people in Gaza. Dr. Bitton said, quote, that was Sinwar's way of saying thank you to us. If I was ever to see this man again, face to face, I would say, quote, only you, Sinwar, have the blood of your brothers and sisters in the Gaza Strip on your hands. What all of you people out there are saying, oh, it's genocide by the Israelis. They're murdering all the Gazans, all of these innocent people, children and women and men. They're all being murdered by the Israelis. It's genocide by the Israelis. No, I'm afraid not. The man that's squarely to blame is Sinwar. He is soaked in Gazans' blood and the blood of many Israelis. Next time you're out there supporting this terrorist thug, Hamas and Hezbollah and all of that, think about what he said, that he would sacrifice many more than 10,000 of his own people. He would sacrifice 100,000 and probably many more. If he'll sacrifice 10,000 and 100,000, do you think he'll just stop there? Oh no. He would allow all of the innocents in Gaza to be killed. So remember that. You college students, you people out there supporting Hamas and cheering Hamas, let me tell you, they hate you. Any U.S. citizen, they hate America. You hear it. Dearborn, Michigan is now the capital of jihad. The executive director of MEMORY, which is the Middle East Research Institute, Steve Stalinsky, declared Dearborn, quote, America's jihad capital, end quote, in an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal. Isn't that sweet? Why would they even allow that? And of course, it drew condemnation locally and from President Joe Biden. Oh, sure. Joe has pretty much turned his back on Israel. Israel is going to respond to Iran for what they did, all those missiles and drones that they lobbed in on the 13th of April. They are going to respond as they should. They can't let this stand. How can they let this stand? And then we have everyone saying, oh, you can't do that. Please don't do it. This is just going to result in a wider regional war. You can't do this, Netanyahu. I love what he said. We will do what we have to do. We're going to do what we think is best. Supporters of Israel stand behind Benjamin Netanyahu. But Biden and all of these crazy terrorists supporting stupid, ignorant people are supporting Hamas. I never thought in my lifetime I would be seeing such a thing on American soil, with Hezbollah flags flying, Palestinian flags flying, and all these nut jobs. God only knows where they're from that are in Michigan and Dearborn that are making these vile speeches against the Jews in Israel and America. I don't know who they are or where they came from, but they need to leave. They need to get the hell out of our country and go to Hamas, go to Iran, Go and see how much they love you there and see how well that works out for you. I never thought in all my years that I would ever hear such hatred and such disrespect for our country. These people are evil, just flat out evil. And most of the people that are following along like sheep going off a cliff, they don't have any idea what they are supporting and what's about to happen. There are things coming on this earth. Sinwar is going to be crying and holding on to his loins because he is going to be losing his bowels once God gets a hold of him. I expect that I will be watching all of this from the mezzanine of heaven. It will be God's perfect justice meted out. That day is coming soon. So drop me a comment. Thank you for watching.